What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Fallout video, and today I'm bringing you episode 34 of our top 5 mods series. And it's been a while since the last episode. I almost forgot what episode we were on, but from now on I'm going to try to get at least one video out every week for the top 5 mods, just because it's a really popular, one of the most popular series on the channel, and I feel like I need to get these out more. But if you guys do go on to enjoy this video, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let's get right into it.
With my two fists of iron, but I'm going nowhere. Oh yeah, I'm the type of guy that likes to roam around.
Never pay full price for games again, guys. Use the link in the description to get up to 90% off of all G2A games. Alright, everybody, our first mod that we have is the Lair of the Silver Shroud by Bloodgrove, and basically this is going to be adding in a sort of Batman-style cave into Fallout 4, which can be found at Good Neighbor, which is located about just straight east of Diamond City or southeast of Sanctuary. And you want to head towards the back of it, towards the memory den, and then go ahead and go through the doors here, because this is where we're going to need to go. There is going to be a door to the lair, but you cannot go through it unless you get a key, which is located in Kent's room, which if you just go to the main room in the memory den, go through this door right here, you'll see Kent in here, and on this little radio next to him, there will be a key. It'll say the Shroud's Lair key, and now you can go and take that to the door and actually unlock it. Under the key, there will also be a little note giving more information on the Silver Shroud's lair, but for now, I'm just going to be showing you where the door is. So once again, in the main room, go ahead, take a left, and then you will see a door right here that can now be unlocked, and it'll be open to a bathroom, which doesn't really look like anything, but if you look down next to the broken toilet, there's going to be a toilet flush button, which is going to open a wall, and if you go through that wall and go ahead and just press down, you can just go into the lair. Once you have entered the Silver Shroud's lair, you'll be able to interact with a lot of things in here. There's a whole bunch of display cases showing off some items of the Silver Shroud, but if you go down here, there's going to be a line of keys that is going to help you get to all the different vehicles and places in this lair, which acts as sort of an exit. So as you can see, there's a boat, there's a plane, a car, and all different types of things you can use to actually leave this place. And surprisingly, for this mod size, it's only 300 kilobytes, and it adds in this entire new base sort of layer into the game, and with a ton of new activities you can actually use. Right here, as you can see, is a ton of Silver Shroud's outfits, and to the left of it is going to be a little boxing ring with some boxing gloves inside that you can actually take. Sort of hiding in the shadows right here is going to be a ton of storage for you to store your items in, and if you go ahead and go down this little ramp right here, we'll actually be able to see the Shroud'mobile, which is basically the Batmobile, but I guess it's sort of a little Fallout 4-esque version of it, and as you can see, you can kind of take this to different parts of the map. It acts sort of a fast travel type thing. And right here is the Shroud plane, if you would rather fly. Moving on past the plane, if you see this button, it acts as the elevator, so press it and it'll take you all the way down to the bottom floor or the middle floor, depending on which one you press. And if you go to the very bottom, down here is going to be the Shroud boat. And if you actually want to interact with it, there is going to be a button on it when pressed. It'll take you to the Commonwealth, but you do have to remember you will need the key for it for that to work. But if you go up to the middle floor, there is going to be a little location for all of the power armor and storage for just all different types of power armor. He doesn't supply any, but you can stack all of yours here. But overall, I was actually pretty impressed by this mod. I wasn't expecting too much just because of the small size of it, but that's going to be helpful just because it's going to be a fast download time. It doesn't require any DLC, and it's going to be pretty much compatible with every mod you're going to be using, so I'd recommend it if you're looking for a kind of unique player home to add into your game, if you're kind of sick of the little standard normal ones, because this adds in a sort of Batcave layer type thing. It's pretty cool, so I definitely recommend it. The next mod we have is the Sanctuary Touch-Up mod by Milisham, and this is going to be pretty self-explanatory, but this mod is going to be basically touching up Sanctuary without completely just overhauling the entire place and making it look pre-war and kind of not realistic. It's going to be basically just touching it up, removing some of the player homes and foundations, and also getting rid of some of the junk and other things around the settlement. It sort of acts as the pre-war mod too, by restoring your house and making it look all nice, but not restoring every single house. Another thing he restored was the huge oak tree that's in the middle of the map and making it alive instead of dead. Some other little things that the creator added in was a salvage trunk to kind of make up for the loss of all the scrap that you would be getting from scrapping the junk around the settlement, which more than makes up for it. He also added in a Vault-Tec van car accident, and around the world he put in surprise loot crates that you could find around the Commonwealth. Now, the only problem I really have with this mod is that if you already have things built in Sanctuary, it's going to mess with those, because whenever I loaded in the game, I used my main save with my huge Sanctuary settlement, and when I loaded in, it got all messed up. So if you want to use it, you're going to have to use it on a new save, or unless you have nothing built at Sanctuary. But that's pretty standard for any settlement overhaul mod, so it's not really a big factor. It's just a little thing I thought I'd add into the video. But that's really the only downside to this mod, and it's not going to be requiring any DLC or anything like that, as well as it's pretty much compatible with every other mod. Unless you're using another Sanctuary overhaul mod, then it's going to be kind of affected, but I don't really know exactly which ones are going to be affected, so you're just going to have to try it out yourself. The next mod I'm showcasing is the improved Brotherhood of Steel mod by THJT9, and this is basically an overhaul mod for the Brotherhood of Steel to fix inconsistencies between equipment, lore, in addition to fixing some Brotherhood of Steel specific bugs. Changes include, but are not limited to, NPCs will now wear the correct Brotherhood of Steel power armor paint to match their rank. Plasma and gauze weaponry has been added from Fallout 3 and New Vegas, and there's been an increased inventory items for Tegan based on your rank. It's also worth mentioning that the health, damage resistance, and energy resistance of all vertebrates has also been doubled. I also feel like it's worth mentioning there's a forum discussion that's been created for feedback on this mod where you can talk about, if the vertebrates are too strong or too weak still, and you guys can talk about how the mod can be improved, things like that. And by the look of the changelogs on this mod, it looks like he's updating this very, very frequently, so that's another plus. Now, this mod itself does not require any DLC or anything like that, but if you do have the Season Pass or Far Harbor or wish to use any other DLCs, you can download a DLC patch for this mod, and it'll help with things in the DLC. So overall, this mod isn't really going to be changing too much in the game that's really that noticeable, but it's going to be improving the overall quality of the game, which I believe is really, really nice, and it just adds in some cool things that the Brotherhood of Steel wouldn't normally have, and some just little patches that Bethesda never bothered to add in. But this mod is going to be basically pretty much compatible with every other mod. However, I would stay away from the mods that use the Brotherhood of Steel or alters the way they function and things like that, just because it might interfere with this mod. But overall, it's pretty cool. It's a nice little patch mod that's really decent, and I definitely recommend it in your load order. The next mod we have is actually two mods, but I thought I would add them in together. You don't have to use the second one because it does require DLC, but I thought for people who do have DLC, might as well want to use it. So the first mod we have is the Rustic Dreams mod by DRM Buse 1981, and this is basically a mod that's going to be altering the effects of the in-game fog and rain in the game to make it look a little bit more gloomy, and I thought that another mod that would go really well with this was the Enhanced Lights and FX mod by Evil. And basically what this mod is going to be doing is enhance the lights and FX all around the map. So some features that he added in with this was all interior light sources now emit light. There's more God Ray casts. There's more Shadow Casters light. There's an enhanced interior day and night cycle visuals. There's a darker interior ambient light and fog. And for all of this, you would think that there would be a FPS impact for this since we're playing on PS4, but I really did not notice any FPS loss, and he said that in the description of his mod, you shouldn't really experience any drop in frames. But this mod is going to be really cool. I just thought I would add it in, but you are going to need the Automatron DLC and the Far Harbor DLC, so if you don't want it, that's fine. I understand that not everybody has the DLC. I just thought I would throw it in just because I made it really looks better. But as for the Rustic Dreams mod, what this is going to be doing, it's going to be altering pretty much everything in the game, like I said, to give it more of a unique look. It's adding in weather types, new image space settings, God rays, and HDR saturation settings. And he also has DLC add-ons you can do for this if you have the DLC. This is a DLC free version. But like I was saying, these mods work really, really well together, and they're going to be pretty much compatible with everything else in your game just because they don't really affect anything. Just some visual overhaul mods or mods that affect God rays and things like that may be affected. Alright guys, the final mod we have is the Cochuit Tunnel Player Home by Mfree8206, and this is basically just another player home mod, but this one you can actually build things in, because I thought I add one of these pretty much every mod video, just because I know some people like the aspect of adding in new player homes, but this one is going to be located just north of Lake Cochuit on top of the bridge. I showed on the map there, hopefully you got a good view of it. But this actually does have a touch of backstory and challenge into it, so if you do decide to use this as your player home, you make sure to read a developer's note right here because it gives you some insight on it. But overall, it's a pretty cool place. There's a lot of space in here. It just is really, really dark when you have nothing built, so you're going to need electricity and lights to operate it. It's sort of like a little tunnel type place, so as you can see, it's like a subway tunnel, essentially. I have on my flashlight now just because everything else is kind of blank and you can't really see anything. But this place is actually really, really spacious, and there's a ton of things you can do in here. I actually may do a settlement build in here. I have a few ideas for it that could be pretty cool in the future. You just need some light. It sort of reminds me of the Mechanist Lair just because it's not outside and it's more of an indoor settlement, but it's pretty cool. It doesn't require any DLC or anything like that, and it's going to be pretty much compatible with every mod that you should have in your load order. I don't even know what would ever affect this, so I'm pretty sure you're good. But overall, it's a pretty decent mod, but that is pretty much all the videos I have for you today, guys. If you did enjoy this video, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.